What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your humble live stream host, Timothy J. Ward, back with another live stream, and we're back home. Glad to say, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in Denver, Colorado. You see the famous tapestry behind me. We're back home, back in Colorado, and I have to say, I have never been happier to be back home. Okay? I can honestly say, change is going on. Okay. Y'all know me. I've done a little traveling. I've done a little nomading. Sonny, I see you. I see you. How's it going, man? I'm good. I'm good. I'm blessed. How are you? Good to see you. Your boy has done a lot of traveling, done a lot of nomading. It is rare, for me to ever go somewhere and like be so ready to go back home, to come back home. Recently, Monday I left, took a trip down to New Orleans, Louisiana, flew out Monday morning, got there Monday afternoon, evening, probably around 4, I think it was. Flew back Thursday morning. And all Wednesday, literally all I could say was, please help nothing please make it so that nothing happens so that I get stuck here. Like all Wednesday, I was even praying. I said, please, yes, I believe in God. I said, please let me be able to get on that flight Thursday and get back home. And it all went according to plan. Very grateful. We made it back. We're going to get into all that. But before we do that, how's everybody doing? Hopefully you're having a wonderful evening. Hopefully you had a wonderful day, a wonderful week. I feel very blessed that I was able to do some traveling this week, even if it was interesting. I hadn't been on a plane in a long time. Had not been on a plane probably since, I think, February. So that's a long time for you, boy. It was good. It was good to be in the arms of angels on those Delta flights. One of the flights, there was a lot of turbulence, so we didn't get no snacks. Jay Cortez, if you in here, you feel me. One of these flights, there was so much turbulence, we didn't get no snacks. They apologized profusely, but all the other flights, I had 4 flights total. All the other flights went well. Your boy's stomach wasn't, working with him a little bit on the last flight. Your boy's stomach was not working with him on the last flight. I was really, and there was some, it wasn't bad turbulence, but it was consistent. So for about the last 30 minutes, it was pretty turbulency, or as they call it, rough air. It's not turbulence anymore. It's rough air. So your boy was very ready to get down, very ready to get out that plane. I was drinking water. I was holding on to the seat. What is that noise? This is a sparkling water. Yeah, but it was great. It was great. It was great. It was great. So I did a stream when I was in New Orleans, and I kind of talked about, some of the issues. But like I said, I was still there, and I was in my hostel, and I was pretty sure people could overhear me. I don't want to get into too much detail, about what was going on. But like, okay, I'll tell you, I stayed let's break the trip down. Got off the Delta flight Monday in the afternoon, early evening, around 4 o'clock. Checked into the hostel. I stayed at the HI Hostel New Orleans. It's a member of the Hostel International USA or whatever. Nice hostel, right there on Canal Street. Beautiful hostel. You walk in the door and there's beautiful chairs and a setup. They got the AC on about 68, so it's nice and frigid in there. You coming in off a hot, humid Louisiana day. Beautiful hostel. Had my own room. Check-in was easy. Went up to my room. I had my own room. Had a queen bed, a set of bunk beds, own bathroom. Beautiful room. High ceiling. I love hotel rooms with high ceilings. Y'all know me. High ceiling. Beautiful hotel. Beautiful hostel. Excuse me. So as soon as I got checked in, put kind of my stuff away, it's time to hit the street. I've been flying all day, ready to, go get something to eat. Like I said, my hostel was right on Canal Street, right? Right on Canal Street. And, Bourbon Street, because this is all I looked at. I was thinking about, all right, I don't know nothing about New Orleans. My hostel's on Canal Street. Bourbon Street is right down the road. I'm like, all right, if nothing else, I can just hang out on Bourbon Street. I've heard of that. supposed to be a big party, whatever. So I'm like, I'll go find something to eat and then I'll walk down and just see what Bourbon Street's giving. As soon as I stepped out the hostel and walked about 2 feet, the bad vibes hit. As soon as I stepped out the hostel and walked about 2 feet, the bad vibes hit. And the bad vibes hit because there was people all up and down the street eyeballing me like I was food. As soon as I got right down the road, like the other side of the hostel was like a check cashing place. As soon as you got to the check cashing place, people were sitting there like I was looking at me like I was prey. The predators was out. You know what I mean? The predators were out. Dudes was just sitting on the corner. They was eyeballing you. No disrespect. There was a lot of homeless people all over the place. They weren't eyeing me like that. Some of them were, but like the dudes was like, you knew. Given the chance, half these people you walking past would rob you. They walking up trying to sell stuff, people muttering stuff. Like it was just that vibe of just like desperation. I wasn't prepared for that. Every time I see New Orleans, it's a party, there's jazz, even the funerals are fun. I'm thinking like, that. So I keep walking. I'm like, well, they say Bourbon Street is down here. Let me keep walking, and I'm very you know what I mean? Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. And I actually had my backpack with all my camera and stuff, right? Because I was like, oh, I might go down, get some video. I didn't know I had my backpack on with all my camera gear and stuff. And I'm like, that was a bad move. Like, I'm like, from now on, I'm leaving all this is at the hotel, at the hostel, under lock and key in the safe. I was just like, you know what I mean? And I think it was because I mentioned this in my other stream. I still had like the Denver energy and vibes about me. And since I'd just been on a plane and at airports, I had this safe, secure, Denvery kind of vibe and energy about me. And that bubble got burst quick as soon as I got on them streets. And so it really threw me. It really threw me because I went from yay to like, ooh. Then I get to Bourbon Street. It's dirty. It's old looking. Same people roaming around. Same people roaming around like you still pray. You still pray. I'm just like, okay. Like I didn't know it was a bad neighborhood. It's a street. I mean, most places, if you go to a street that's like world famous, it's gonna be pretty touristy. And maybe if I went at a more touristy time of year, the ratio of tourists to like robbers, the ratio of travelers to jack boys would have been like less, but it was just mainly like it was, a few tourists milling around and then just people that you knew was there to kind of just like see what they could do. You know what I mean? You get a lot of looks like this, people offering you weed. Hey, bro, I got that. You know what I mean? Just all, you know what I mean? Like, nothing wrong with that. But like, it was just a lot of just like, I'm like, I was not expecting this. The vibe was just off, bro. Like, I was like, this is not. When I first got to the hostel, I was like, oh man, I like New Orleans. We may have to come back there. About 10 minutes in, I was like, nah, this is definitely gonna be like one and done. You know what I mean? So like I was like, you know what? Maybe this just I've been a few places, so I know sometimes it's just the road. I'm like, okay, maybe Canal Street, whatever, whatever. I got on Google Maps. So the next day, the next morning, when I left, instead of like, because the Mississippi River was right down the road. I was like, well, let me get to the waterfront. Even though I looked it up on Google Maps and the waterfront didn't look that inviting. I'm used to like lakes and rivers that are blue. There's grass and trees around them. The waterfront Mississippi River didn't look that inviting, but I'm like, hey, let's go. I love being around water. I said, but I'm not going to walk straight up canal. I'm going to go around the corner, take some of these back streets, and maybe it's different. And it was a better vibe, but it was still the overall kind of, I don't know, like it's hard to explain. Like even I walked past some of the like super nice hotels with like valet parking and the because I looked up a lot of the hotels online and they was like super expensive. Some of these hotels are $200, $300 a night. And like they was kind of grimy. Like, you know what I mean? Like they all had security guards in front of them. Like, some places have security. These put like security. Like it was just that whole feel of just like it could go down at any time down here. And I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. Now, I probably should have done better research, and then I finally got down to the waterfront and it was okay, but like it wasn't the river walk was okay, but like and then I went to was like the French market. That was cool. That was probably the best part. I think it's called the French market. I got some coffee there. There's some live music going. That part was a lot better. That part was better, and it seemed like a lot of cool shops. And I didn't go in any of them because I had my backpack. Actually, no, this time I didn't have all my camera equipment and stuff. I had my little backpack, and I just had like my cell phone and like a selfie stick. Um, but I didn't go any of the shops because I don't like going in places with a backpack. But I looked around; it was kind of cool, and the vibe was a little different. But like, I was like, yeah, you know what? I walked around a little bit. The humidity hit me. My clothes got soaked. I had the I had the juicy booty going on. Looked like I peed myself. My pants were sweat through. My shirt was sweat through. So I just went back to the hostel, and I just caught up on some of my shows. And I basically did the same thing Wednesday, and then Thursday, 6:30, I was up out of there. Got on a flight. I got to the airport super early. My flight wasn't until didn't start boarding till 9. I got to the airport at like 6:30 or like 7. No, I called my Uber at 6:30, got there at 7 and like just hung out at the airport. It was it was not what I expected, but it was an adventure and it was a learning experience. I learned some things. And that's one of the things I love about travel is that um I like I learn something no matter where I go. That's something I learned about travel was like and I posted that on Instagram. Every trip may not be a great trip, but every trip's an adventure. And I'm like, blessed to be able to have seen some of New Orleans. As I was leaving, I saw some of like big cemeteries. And I was like, dang, I would have liked to Uber over to one of these cemeteries and walked around. That would have been cool and safer. But if I ever go again, I know. But I learned. I had a moment. Like I was in my hotel, a hostel, excuse me, and I was thinking about it today. I love everybody. Okay. So I might sometimes find myself in situations where I'm a little nervous, let's say afraid, possibly because of some of the people I'm coming in contact with. But I had to stop myself and like, yeah, I'm gonna always feel a little uneasy when people look at me like they really would rob me if I was like 2 streets over and nobody else was around. But I love those people. And I'm like, I have to ask myself, as someone who, likes to, put out inspirational content and motivational content, when you see some people on a path in life that has led to that because of decisions they've made, or maybe a lot of things outside their circumstances. I don't want to say mistakes they made. I'm gonna stop saying mistakes people make. I'm gonna start saying um, decisions that they've made. Who knows if anything's a mistake? Let's just say decisions they made. They are living that type of life. And I'm like, okay, how do you reach those people? It becomes less about like looking down on people and be like, oh, these are the good people, these are the bad people. I'm gonna talk to the good people. And for me, it became, how do you reach people like that? Like, how do you tweak the message so that someone who might be jacking tourists on Canal Street can realize that it's less about what can you take from people and more about what can you give back to society? How do you help someone like that, Tim? Instead of looking down on them, yes, be afraid. Yes, hold your purse when you walk past them or walk another way. But is there a way to reach people like that? And how does that message need to look? And how do you get it to them? That's what I start thinking about. That's what I start thinking about. Hey, follow Key's tracks. I got to mention this real quick. I know that's you, Kiara, because I saw you over on Ava's live stream. I was lurking on Ava Carl's live stream and I saw you there. I said, I'm gonna get on Kiara for cheating on me. I'm joking. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, I saw you change your name and I was like, I wonder, does she have two channels or she change your name? But I see you, Kiara. I saw you over there today. So yeah, I was hoping you checked in today. Good to see you. And shout out to everybody in the chat. I like to think you can reach anybody. I like to think you can reach anybody, So that's what I was pondering. I'm like, wouldn't it be a beautiful world if no one had that mentality? Wouldn't it be a beautiful world if the way our capitalist society is set up was that there's never people, at the bottom who maybe are engaging in, excuse me, bad behaviors like that to eat? Yeah, send me the link, Kiara. Like that's what I started thinking about. Once again, I kept a wide berth, but I'm like, there's more work to be done. And it just was. I mean, I see it in Denver sometimes, but like even just the every city I go to and the homeless population. How's it going, Aaron? I see you. Good to see you. Just I'm like, man, like I think we've gotten way too comfortable with seeing people literally just sleeping on the side of the road, side of the street. I seen a dude sleeping in like a storefront, and his pants had through the night had slipped down, and he was showing a lot of his butt crack was on plumber, and I seen the I seen these two ladies walk past him, and they were like, they were like, I said, poor man, he getting eyeballed, he sleep. Um, but I'm like, and I'm not making fun of the situation, but it was just funny watching them walk by, and they were like, as if he was flipped the other way. um, but I'm like, dang, like we've gotten way too comfortable with seeing people sleeping on the street. And I know a lot of us like wish, like I think a lot of us, yeah, like Michelle just said, not comfortable with it. We need to do more. A lot of us aren't like comfortable with it, but you don't really know what to do. I donate to my homeless charity, but like, what do we do? You know what I mean? So like that's really the kind of things that were hitting me. I was just like, man, it's just, I you go places and there's a different vibe, and it just seems like there's more. I was in the elevator. I came back to the hostel one time, and I had like I had some fried chicken from the Chinese place. I had fried chicken wings with French fries, and I had a big old plate of house lo mein. And when I walked through the lobby, you could smell it. You could smell it, right? Because it was hot, and I walked through the lobby with all that AC, and the smell just permeated. Some dude ran and got in the elevator with me. I think he was thinking I would offer him some. Black folk, we bold. He was like, "Hey, man, you smelled up that whole lobby," and I was just like, "Yeah, third floor, third floor." But anyway, talked to him for a little bit, as little as possible, and then I saw him later in the elevator, and he was talking to one of the guys who worked there, and he was like, "Man, ever since I came to New Orleans, man, I've been struggling." He said, "Man, I ain't made more than $12 an hour since I've been here. I got to get somewhere else." I think he's in Minnesota. I said, "I got to get back up there and actually, make some real money." And I'm like, it just bothers me that we've got places with like, you could just tell there was no opportunity. You could just tell like the opportunity. When I walk around Denver, you can smell the opportunity. And I'm just like, it bothers me that we got cities where there's no opportunity and just people feel stuck and they feel lost. And like it turns to violence or homelessness. Like it just, I know these problems are everywhere, but like it just like seems in some places it's, the whole place feels like it's, I don't know. It just kind of bothered me. It just kind of bothered me. You know what I mean? And like I said, it was still a good trip. I learned a lot, and I don't mind. Every trip is not going to be me going somewhere and taking amazing hikes and getting really great pictures for Instagram. And woo, some trips are going to be going and seeing places that aren't exciting. You know what I mean? I think that comes with it. And so, yeah, it's like, what's the fix? And like I said, as the average person, I think all we can do is what we do and help as many people as we can help. Accept help when we're the ones who need the helping hand, and just try to be good people. And like, you know, I don't know. You can't let it get you down. You got to keep moving forward. Um, but yeah, I definitely, like Roxana says, I definitely, when the plane touched down and I was on that shuttle going to my car, and I got, we was driving around Denver, and I got to see the mountains in the distance and the wide open areas, and just I was so grateful. You know what I mean? I was so happy to be back home. I was so grateful. It made me really appreciate my apartment. Because I've been home for a while, and you start to like grumble about home when you. Well, I do when I've been home for a while. You start to grumble about it, um, and I'm like, I'm very appreciative to live in the city I live in, and to live in the neighborhood I live in, and to have the opportunities I have. It made me very appreciative, very thankful. I'm like, I've been over here worried about the recession and things like, well, not worried, but you think about the recession and things like that. And I'm like, even during the recession, my life is going to be, 100 times better than a lot of the people's lives I came in contact with. And so, like, yeah, it makes you, I was saying a lot of prayers of like, please help me get back home. And when I got back home, it was like prayers of gratitude, like, thank you, you know, I don't know. So that's what's like, hey, today's stream, that was the title. I've been a lot of places, and sometimes I went somewhere and I stayed for a while. I might get a little homesick, but I don't think I ever been anywhere where I was like, man, 2 days was too long because I had 2 full days, Tuesday and Wednesday. And I would have honestly, given the option, I probably would have got on the plane Tuesday and came back home. If Delta had called me and was like, hey, we know you just landed Monday night, but do you want to fly back home for free tomorrow? I'll be like, yep, it's crazy. But like, but some people love New Orleans. Some people are, and I think it speaks to the fact too that we all enjoy different things. If I was a big partier and I'd spent, a couple of nights on Bourbon Street, it probably would have, Tim 10 years ago, probably would have loved it because I would have had my boys with me. We would have been on Bourbon Street. We probably would have gotten into some violence and, maybe ended up in jail, but I would have, you know what I mean? I'd have loved it. Tim now, I just didn't have nothing to offer me. But some deep reflection, which is never a bad thing. And no matter what happens in life, you can always come back to gratitude. One of the secrets to life. Oh, Lao Tzu thinking. That's awesome. 50 days sober. That's awesome. That's awesome. Clap that up. So it always comes back to gratitude. Just like, man, I may be going through whatever I go through in life and, blah, 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 blah. But like, I can walk to the Target and not, and not be afraid. You know what I mean? So now I know, you know, now I know. And I talked to some people who had said that they weren't big fans of New Orleans. And I was like, well, something told me I wanted to go. And I'm glad I went. I try to avoid playing the game of how much money you spend to go. And then maybe not having the fun to justify that. But I'm like, you know, my feet got to touch a part of the earth that never touched before. That's never bad. That's always, that's always a good thing for me. Oh, yeah, yeah, Sonny. We try to get back to the beach. Do not be surprised uh, if I'm trying to see when this winter, but I definitely want to get back to Myrtle Beach. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And we're gonna link when I get back there. Benjamin, there's lots of like I like Denver, and there's lots of other places I've been I liked as well. So I don't really try to like you know put better or worse. I mean worse, yeah. There's worse places, but as far as the places I liked, I don't try to put them in any type of order. Everybody knows I'm a big fan of Montana. Love Bozeman, Montana, but like Denver's cool too. So I wouldn't say there's any place I liked better than Denver, but there's obviously places I really like, and places that I don't like. It's crazy you said that, O'Malley Smith. Vegas is another place where like when the tourists outweigh like the locals, it's chilling. Like Vegas is cool, but there are some times when I'm in Vegas, you get it a lot on Fremont Street and certain spots on the Strip where it's that same vibe. But with Vegas, there's so much else going on. Usually, it gets overshadowed. by the fun and stuff. But there's some times when I've been to Vegas and it was like off season. Um, when I went, was that in 2021 when like nobody was really there, or was that 2020? The locals was out, and it was that same kind of everybody eyeing you to see could they get something out of you. You turn the wrong corner. You know what I mean? You know. So yeah, Vegas sometimes have that same vibe. Raining cats and dogs. Yeah, if I'd stayed in a different hood, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't speak to that. Like, I don't, you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? Um, I'm assumed if I had found like the really, really rich area, but like most places, if you stay near where all the nice hotels are, that's the nice part of town. You know, if I go downtown Denver and I'm by where all the nice hotels are, you're gonna be chilling. You know, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. How's it going, Karen? At what age did I start feeling contentment? Probably late 30s when I kind of started living the lifestyle I'm living now. I think that's when I really, I think when I started doing seasonal work and I was doing something that I decided I wanted to do, um, and just like didn't really have a lot of bills. All I had to do was like go to work, come home, hang out with my friends. I think that's when I really started to be able to relax and just feel content and at ease. Aisha checking in. Supreme, like, yeah, I know if I go different places, it's gonna be a different experience. You know what I mean? Like, I know you put an LOL on the end of it, but you know what? Actually, we're not even dealing with this today. I'm not doing this. Like, all we ask is that you don't be negative and show respect. It's very simple. It's very simple. You know what I mean? I'm not talking smack about New Orleans. I'm just telling you about my experience. You know, talking about my experience. And I'm sure some people, like I said, I'm sure some people go to New Orleans and love it. It's their vibe. That's another thing you learn too, is like there's different vibes, different places. Some places you'll go with your vibe, some places is not. You know what I mean? Like some people would come to go to Bose, Montana and hate it. I love it. You know what I mean? So like you learn that too. It's like different vibes, different places. If I was into a lot of the spiritual, that type of stuff, I might have loved it. But like, I don't do that. So, you got depressed in Denver? Wow. I'm see. That's Aisha's different. She came to Denver, got depressed. Too many mountains. That fresh air. That that fresh air and that elevation. Nah. I feel you. Like I said, it's to each his own. You know, like you just learn. It's every trip's an adventure, man. That's why I love travel. Every trip's an adventure. James, yeah, I went down Bourbon Street. I went down Bourbon Street. It just wasn't my scene. I don't party, so like, it just wasn't my scene. Just it was too that vibe, but just like everybody looking at you like you pray. Like I'm not. And once again, like if you've grown up in a city where that's natural, that don't bother you. You just move accordingly. But like I don't be in places like that a lot. So like when I go to a place like that, I'm like, I just what I mean. It's just not the vibe I want to be around. Jessica, I see you. Jessica said, I love the vibe, man, but winter's coming and I'm scared. And I got to call you back. I missed your call the other day. I got to call you back. You're going to, you're staying in Maine for the winter? You'll be all right. You know how to do winter. Rice and Beans, Yellowstone Club. I've heard very good things about. I got friends now who work at Yellowstone Club. I got friends who've worked at Yellowstone Club for 5, 6 years. So I would definitely. I don't know anybody who works at Copper Mountain, but I know Yellowstone Club is. You know, they had some troubles a few years back. um, with the way they were treating some of their employees. And since then, I've pretty much heard nothing but like good stuff about Yellowstone Club, and that's where all the really, really, really rich people go. Bill Gates has a house in Yellowstone Club. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, like a friend of mine who worked at the Yellowstone Club took a picture like right behind Paris Hilton. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I would definitely do Yellowstone Club. Yeah, I'd go for Yellowstone Club. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard a lot of good things about it. Yeah, Kiera, Ava's live was nice. Like I messaged her and was like, "You're a natural," and she had good numbers. She has good numbers for a stream. Like for the number of subscribers she has for a stream, like she had good numbers, made good money. I'm like, I see you. I see you. Yeah, Ava did. She did good. Smiling Buddha. Yeah, man. I'm trying to get back down to visit Mexico soon. That's on the list. I'm trying to get back down and visit Mexico soon. Totally. Totally. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotta start doing some research about Mexico. How's it going, Antonella? Where would I recommend someone moving out of California to move to? I'm a little biased, but I'm definitely gonna say, Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, states like that. Idaho, maybe even too. Um, some one of those states, I think. Yeah, that's what I would say. No, I didn't really stop at any tourist spots that were about the history of the folklore of the city, sweetie. Not, no. Yellowstone Club got that money, get a job that gives tips. Facts. Oh, Aisha, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to Gary Vee. Thank you. I'm telling you, he's not what people think. If you watch one video, it might be the wrong one, but like if you take the time to like really listen to his message, the man is like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like there aren't many people that I really, really, really admire. He's one of them. And I've been watching him for years. So like the longer you watch somebody, the easier it is to spot some flaws. And like the man is the genuine article. Like, I mean, we all got our flaws, but like he's a genuine article, man. Like he ain't out there doing it for the money or the clout. Like he genuinely is trying to help people, So that's what I respect about him. Oh, Jessica, you got a job in Hawaii with housing? You always have like the best jobs. How you get a job in Hawaii with housing? Yeah, yeah, do that, do that. Yeah, but then I won't be able to. I ain't flying to Hawaii. We got to link up again. Lee in the building. You miss Colorado. You was just here. Nah, tell me, Cyan, tell me you joking, bro. Cyan, tell me you joking. Well, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you, or call me tomorrow, or tonight. We gonna talk, Cyan. Please tell me you joking. Diane, I never actually lived in my Prius. I was doing some road tripping in the Prius, um, and I might have took some liberties with some of my titles that made people think I lived in the Prius. Um, but no, I got a apartment now. Rice and beans. I've heard about Deer Valley Resort, but I don't know anyone. I haven't like known anyone who worked there to give me like an opinion of it. I haven't had any reviews about it. I personally wouldn't live in Las Vegas, but I couldn't recommend it or not recommend it to anyone else, Alvin. O'Malley Smith. Yeah, I think the food app gig jobs are still happening. I think it is kind of location specific. Um, I think there are definitely some areas that might be oversaturated, but I think there's lots of areas that aren't. You know, so it might take going a little bit out of your local area, maybe, but I think there's always going to be food gig app job availability. Any plans for the winter? I don't know, Lee. I definitely want to get down to Myrtle Beach, but I don't know. I don't know. This is starting to be my road trip time of year, so I gotta figure it out. I got a wedding to go to soon, but other than that, I'm not sure. They starting to talk about the quiet quitting, Richard. I just hope some of them people who see it on TV come to YouTube, watch my video. They starting to talk about it. Told y'all. I knew them. It's catchy. It's catchy. Say what you want about the news media, but they good at like making catchy work. So it's catchy. Quiet quitting. Quiet quitting. Quiet quitting. Quiet quitting. It's catchy. People gonna catch on. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you're enjoying the stream and you'd like to help out, it costs absolutely no money. If you hit the like button, that would help your boy out. Hi, Wendy. Um, Allison, travel snacks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tea snacks in the building. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, Allison. Super Chat Squad. I appreciate the love. Uh, Girl Allison, travel snacks. Definitely check her channel out if you're not subscribed. Super awesome human being. We actually just like talked on the phone for almost 2 hours earlier. So that's why I was laughing to see her. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Always good to see you. Tea snacks in the building. Antonella, I've definitely heard of the lying flat trend. I went down a rabbit hole of researching that and watching videos about it. I'm fascinated by it, and I honestly think that's going to be the next stage. I think a lot of the young people in the West, in America, and other countries like this, I think that's what we're going to have to deal with next. And Gary Vee talks about this. He's like, wait until you think the Great Resignation is bad. Wait until you see the Great Nobody applied in the first place. And I think that's what we're going to see next. Is the kids are going to be like, it doesn't matter what I do, I can't make it in life. I'm just going to, for all intents and purposes, lie flat. They're just going to, you know, work as little as possible, stay, 10 people to a house, so rent's cheap, and they're just going to, play video games and, you know, eat Taco Bell and just like hang out. And, when they need work, they'll hop on their phone and they'll go to gig jobs, which another thing. I'll tell you, all this coincides. This all makes sense if you listen. Like, as gig jobs become more prevalent, they'll just hop on gig works or insta work, and like once a week they'll go do a shift and make 60, 70, 80 bucks, and then like they'll just use that to eat and and buy weed, and when and when they're done with that, they'll just work. Like, there's not gonna, I think, for a lot of the generations coming up, and still until something changes, there's not gonna be this ideal. I mean, for some people, yes, but I think there'll be a large part of the population um, that are just gonna like see no reason to work hard. The ideal of like get a career and get married and buy a home, they're not gonna care. I share a room with two of my best friends in an apartment. I make $200-300 a month. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you, I think that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, that's why I like to research other stuff to see what could happen in the future. Ooh, Jessica, yeah, you should stay in Maine and then go to Myrtle Beach during the winter so we can hang out again. Save me. I don't cook at all. Yeah, Brian, I was only down in Nolens for a couple days. Leaf, 16th Street Mall ain't that scary. I be down there all the time. 16th Street Mall is not that scary. I mean, you got to keep your head on a slight swivel. You know what I mean? They out, but it ain't that scary. Like I go up and down 16th Street all the time. I got a good friend. She lives downtown. We go out to lunch. She's a young lady. She walks around down there by herself. Like, what I mean? It's, you keep pepper spray on you, but like it's nothing near. The vibe is just like, and honestly, a lot of the people 16th Street, the interesting characters. For you, those of you who don't know, 16th Street Mall is like downtown Denver, and they used to. Now they're doing a bunch of construction, but they used to actually be like an outdoor mall. But now they're doing a lot of construction. It's summertime, not a lot going on down there. So you got a lot of characters, a lot of homeless people, other people. And so, yeah, you watch your back, but it's like you also have a lot of business people and other people out and about. So, like, you know, do you want to be down there walking alone after dark? Yeah, yeah. But like, it's okay. Like, I'll be down there all the time. It's not that bad. Um, yeah, I would much rather be there than like Canal Street. Yeah, yeah. Mhm, mhm. Hey, Sweetie Lee, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate the love. Super Chat Squad definitely helps keep the motivation to do the streams. I appreciate that. Sweetie Lee says, "Will you still do your nature walks and talks even though you're home? What do you think would be a great place to vacation with kids to enjoy nature for a school break?" Yes. The cool thing about where I live is within an hour and a half of me, there's literally like 5 or 6 state parks. So there's actually one like 30 minutes down the road. So yeah, I'm always out in nature. Estes Park, which is beautiful, is hour and a half down the road. There's so much nature in this area. So yeah, I'm still good. Next week, I got a eye appointment and a bunch of other stuff, but I do want to get out to a park and do a walk and talk. I want to do like a walk and talk every week. So yeah, we definitely going to be doing the walk and talks in nature. That's why I love the Denver area. Every even and beyond the state parks, all the neighborhoods have parks in them. All the neighborhoods, like the parks, like lead to a park. There'll be a park, and you'll drive 2 blocks. There's another park, and there's a trail that leads from one park to the. I mean, Denver's like one big park, and there's like subdivisions in the middle of the parks. Like it's so yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I love the area. Great place to vacation with kids to enjoy nature for a school break. I'm gonna say Yellowstone National Park. Depends on what time of year it is, though. Or Glacier. Yellowstone or Glacier. Yeah. Richard, you saw the change in work coming? In what way? Just curious. In what way? Working for the state. Like, in what way did you see it? Where am I? I know you're down to me be like, where am I in the comments? Not Jonathan, I'm back home. Sonny, yeah, man, you got to show me the cool spots in Myrtle, man. Ooh, the resurgence of boarding houses. Actually, I'm writing that down. That looks like something I want to look into. Oh, I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of people living together. I've been watching videos of like Hong Kong where they have like those cage apartments where like, in a standard room, there's like 4 cages that people live in. Very, very sad, but very cheap, but cheaper. I think we'll start seeing, there's a trend called boommates where all the baby boomer generations are starting to have roommates and live together because they can't afford to like have their own place, which I think is actually a good thing. I think roommates are awesome. You know what I mean? I feel so blessed to have my roommate. We talk all the time. It's like, yeah, we're in our 30s and 40s and have roommates, but like, I prefer that to living alone, and the bills are cut in half. So I think we're going to see more of that. And so, like, places like boarding houses, I think would be awesome. You get camaraderie, there's people around, like as someone who's lived alone before and someone who has roommates now, when you like, especially as distant as we are from like our neighbors and things of that nature now, it's a whole kind of vibe, like a depressing vibe when like you come home and nobody's there. Like when nobody knows what you got going on. Like I could get in a car accident and not come home and no one would care. You know what I mean? At least with a roommate, if I don't come home for a couple days, he gonna be like, "Where's the?" He gonna mess with me. Were you all right? You good? Or he'd really be like, "Did you go to town?" But like I know my roommate's got me. If I don't see him for a couple days and he hasn't told me he's going somewhere, I'm gonna message him, "Bro, you good?" You know what I mean? Just like something happened, when I'm out or when I was working. It's cool to have somebody to come home to and tell it to. Yo, bro, you're not going. You know what I mean? Or hear his stories. Oh, let me tell you. It's cool. You know. So I think that boarding houses and roommates and boommates, I think it's a good idea. Did I see the documentary Free Solo? I don't think so. Yeah, Roderick. DTC. I like DTC. Parks on Parks on Parks. There's a park over there I want to do a live stream in. It's really nice. It's not even really a park. There's not. It's so nice. They ain't even got like park benches in it. It's just a nice grassy area, right by a really nice neighborhood. I want to do a walk and talk through there. Literature. The vibe in San Diego was cool. I like San Diego. The vibe there was cool. Yes, a small number of people have been attacked by animals in Yellowstone Park. If you do the numbers, Google how many millions of people go to Yellowstone every year, and then Google how many people are attacked by animals. It's like 0.0000000 something percent. It's crazy. It's crazy. More people get attacked in Southside Chicago in a weekend than if probably ever got attacked in Yellowstone. Sorry, Jeff, I'm not coming at you. It's just that like I always hear people talking about bear attacks and stuff, and these are people who live in like New York City. Oh, I can't go to a national park. They got mountain lions. They got real lions of the human variety. Where you from? People who come from states that with murders, numerous murders. I'll talk crap about like Glacier because like once every 5 years someone gets attacked by a bear. I was in Yellowstone. It's okay. If you don't go up on the bison, they ain't gonna come attack you. Yeah, I just yeah, 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 yeah. Antonella, you looking forward to that Golden Girl situation when you're older, which I think is cool. You know what I mean? Like only in this country do we think you need your own place. If I'm 60, I don't want a 3 bedroom house to myself. I don't want a 1 bedroom house to myself. Like, why not live with some people? Yeah, now you got to find good roommates. That's why I say I'm blessed and grateful for the roommate I have because we get along very well. You got to find like good roommates, but like you can't write off having roommates because some people aren't good roommates for you. You know, universe is abundant. You can find a good roommate. Aisha, you live in a big house. It's depressing. You got to let more of them dudes come over. I just mess with you. I just mess with you. I feel you, SW. Some people want to be alone. I get it. I get it. Props, respect. Natalie checking, coming through, saying what's up. Is it harder finding a roommate when you're female 40 plus? Harder than when? I mean, like, how could you ever know? Like, why would it be harder than if you're a male 40 plus? You know, maybe it is a little for younger people in general because of the stereotypes and the views we have about roommates, the stigma, not stereotypes, the stigmas we have about roommates. But I think that's changing. I think getting older, more and more people will live for roommates. I think. Oh, the governor of Florida called for an end to telework for state employees. Oh, yeah, Sonia. People get attacked by bison because they putting their kids on the back of them and trying to get selfies. Yes, yes, and Allison. Yeah, they get too close to the bears. They put themselves in a bad spot. Most bear attacks happen if you scare the bears and they're surprised. So like, don't be in. Stay on the trail. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, like it's not. Yeah, if you do the numbers, look at how many millions of people visit national parks, and then how many people get attacked. It's way less people than like get in car accidents in probably like a week. Aisha, I've been hiking in all kinds of trails. I never wore jingle bells. If I ever was in an area where I thought like every now and then you'll pick up a smell, and you'll be like, "There's an animal around here." I just start talking. The jingle bells are annoying. Just make noise. Like you're like like bear like animals live out in the wild. So they pick up on noise like better than us. We're the stupid humans who are around noise all the time. But animals, like they hear a human and they ain't trying to deal with you, they just gonna walk away. Like what they don't eat humans unless there's nothing else to eat. So like if they're not typically 99.9% of the time trying to deal with us. So if they hear a human voice, they just gonna walk away, you know? There was a ranger who came to like I think it was my orientation at Glacier, and she was saying that a lot of times she's up in like either the fire lookouts or other places early in the morning doing whatever rangers do. I don't know. She's like she always sees people like there'll be a bear, and then there's like a big briar patch, and then the trail, and the bear is sitting right there on the other side of these briars or these trees, and the bear is like watching the humans, and the humans walk by oblivious, and the bear continues doing what it's doing, eating berries. I don't know. What do bears do? Taking a poop in the woods? I don't know. But like she's like, so like bears aren't out here just stalking humans. They see you all the time. They don't bother you. They don't care. They see humans all the time. Anyway, moving on. Alvin, I do not go to the movies. I watch the movies in my house, like any good introvert. Sonia, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Super Chat Squad. Appreciate the love, Sonia. Thank you so much. Oh, I like that. Is that new? I like that. The gamer hippo. Okay, okay. I like that. Oh, okay. Hey, Aisha, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, Super Chat Train. Says I need to send abundance back into the world. Last week, my boss kind of sort of threatened to let me go. I broke down crying. This week, I found a job that pays a lot more. Like I don't even deserve this. That is sweating again. That is awesome, Aisha. That is awesome. And I appreciate you giving some of that abundance, sharing that with your boy. Appreciate that. Super Chat Squad, Super Chat Train. Tell you the universe is abundance, man. Boss threatened to let you go. All right, I'm gonna look around. Now you found a job that pays so much more. You like, I don't deserve this. I definitely don't need him or her. I didn't deserve that. I definitely don't deserve this. But we're here now. The universe is abundant, man. That's amazing. Good things just happening to Aisha. And she's spreading the love. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you. And congratulations. God is good all the time. Let's go. Let's go. Ain't no recession at Aisha's house. Mm-hmm. 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 What's to come is better than what you left. Talk. Yeah, Jessica, you're gonna love the future. You're gonna love the future. Since you hate living alone, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you'll, you know, found you, a nice mate. If not, hey, you can always come to the old folks boarding home with me. You know me. We probably still gonna, I'm still probably still gonna be single. Um, is it weird that when I think to 65, I see like single? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like if you're single now and you think to like your 60s, do you see yourself with somebody or like see yourself single? I'm asking the chat. I'm asking everybody. I can't envision like, oh, this is too much. This is crazy. We can't have all these emojis. Somebody's got to go to timeout. There's way too many emojis. I'm getting emoji fever over here. SW says single. Nitro says I don't see myself with anyone. Yeah, that's me. Kendrick says single. Danielle said I'm in a long-term relationship or in long. Okay, so you see, okay, cool. One relationship, about 18 singles. Single for the win. Common law. Yeah, I got you. I'm with you. Yeah, if I see myself with somebody, it wouldn't be marriage. Antonella says single. Steve, two set my ways. Definitely single. Wendy says friend or partner, but single. Okay. Carol single for show. Mike's a relationship. Okay. Yeah, Jessica, you and that roommate, you lucked out with the roommate you got at this job. They need to hire you to tell that story on Coolworks. Med, yes. And Shaka too. I think sometimes when I speak on being single, I never speak on being single these days from like a point of like lack. So like, yeah, the universe is abundant. Obviously, if it's for If it's meant for a woman to come in my life, they will. But like, I don't sit around like, man, I gotta find the right one, gotta meet the guy. Like, I don't see it as a negative. That's what I'm trying to say. Single or with someone, I don't see either one as better than the other because there's sacrifices you got to give up to be with somebody, and there's certain things you won't be able to do single. So I don't see one as better than the other. I just when I think to my future, I don't see me with somebody. Maybe because I've been single so long. But yeah, I don't see one as better than the other. So like, I'm not one of those people who sit around just like, oh, God gonna send me one. Like, if it happens, it happens. Universe is abundant, you know. Miguel says sing on the weekends. I feel you, Michelle. Yeah, Michelle. I accept either. You know, Kiana been single whole life, 25 years. Yeah, I just don't. You know, it's not a negative to me. Because you said, I see you meet someone, Tim, living happily ever after. Possibly, you know. I wouldn't turn my nose up at it if it came along, but you know, the luck show exactly. Learning to be alone and enjoying it is the most empowering gift you can give yourself. Facts. They can't do nothing with you if you're cool being alone. There's nothing they can do to you. I'm alone. I enjoy it. I don't fall for all their relationship crap, all the stuff they want you to do to try to meet. I'm good. I'm good. They can't do nothing with you. They can't say nothing to you. Oh, you're 42, never been married, single? Yes. Now what you got? Ah, they got nothing. They got nothing. They can't say nothing to me. I'm secure in being myself and being with myself. You got to come with something better than that. Alvin, I worked at a labor ready years ago down in Florida. I didn't really like it. I prefer like a regular temp agency. Um, I just feel like they don't treat you. They treat you like day labor at the labor ready. Now you could go to different places and it's different, but where I was at, yeah, they treated you like, yeah, you can't get a job nowhere else, so you got to work here, and yeah, I just didn't like the vibe. Still be them. I agree. You know, we're our culture's obsessed with like relationships. It's like you get one, you get one. You don't, you don't. You're still like you're still living. You know. Sonia, I've only been through like Colorado Springs once, so I don't really have a big opinion on it. Like it was cool, but like I just never. I've only been through that like once. Coast to Death 33 never had a relationship, and you still chilling. The sun still rises and sets. You still get to eat the food you like, do the things you like. This idea that like if you're not, and I hear this all the time. If you're not with somebody and you're not creating babies, what's the point of your life? I'm like everything else that I do, that you do too. You know, all that stuff you do when you're not making babies or relationship stuff, that's the stuff I do too. That's the point. What's up, Andre? Yeah, that's a good one too. Aisha, like focusing on friendships. Like I got really good friends. We talk. If they live near me, we hang out. Like it's a beautiful thing. Like I don't have to like yeah, you know, love is cool, but if it's not romantic love, it's a problem. But I mean, I'm not mad at people because like they're just spewing back statements based on the programming that's been put into them since birth. Like you know, I'm not mad at people when they follow the party line. That's all they know. They've been told their whole life you have to be in a relationship or you're not validated. So that's what they spout back, you know? It is what it is. I've definitely met people who I had a connection with who like I think I've met before. Like some of my really good friends, we've had conversations and I'm like, I know we've known each other before or we're gonna know each other again. I don't think time is linear. So like the future is the past, past anyway. So like, yeah, I know there's people in my life that we've met in different lives, you know. We knew each other when we were other entities, I believe. Yeah. My best recommendation for the Midwest, I really haven't been a lot of places. I don't know where the Midwest starts and stops. Is Chicago in the Midwest? I mean Colorado in the Midwest. I really don't know where the Midwest starts and stops, sweetie. So yeah, I don't know what places are in the Midwest. Herman, I have not ever been homeless. Blessed to say that. Yeah. Ups. I think college or university is worth it if it's worth it. And what I mean by that is, I think for some people it is, and some people it isn't. So I think this idea that everyone has to go to college is antiquated and way too expensive. But I think for certain jobs, if like that's like if you know you want to be a doctor and you go through medical school and you come out and you're a successful doctor, I think it was worth it. If you don't really want to be, you know, in finance and you go to school to get some finance degree and you get out and you don't care to use it, well, then it wasn't worth it, you know? So I don't think we can make like blanket sweeping statements for everybody. I just think it falls to each one of us to ask for ourselves, is this going to be worth it? Um, and not listen to our parents and our guidance. I mean, listen to your parents, but like know the decision is ultimately yours. So a lot of the adults in your life are going to just blindly say, go to college. Um, but like you got to ask, find out for yourself. Like, and if you got kids, I think it'd be a nice gesture to let them decide for themselves, you know, because they might be like, I don't want to go to college or I don't want to go right now. It's not worth it for me, you know. Medicine Moon checking in from Hawaii. Tell the truth. I mean, you might have lived before. I don't know. I mean, we all got different backstories or forward stories. So I personally, like, I just don't think energy can be created or destroyed. So the energy that animates my body and allows Timothy Ward to exist now was somewhere else before Timothy Ward was born. And it will be somewhere else after Timothy Ward is dead. So if you think that that energy is me, because I'm not Timothy Ward, I'm just existing inside the existence that is Timothy Ward. If the actual me is that energy, well, then when that energy moves into something else, I'll be something else, which would be another life. And whatever I was before, times linear, before this life is a past life. So yeah, like I'm Timothy Ward is just who I am right now, but that's not who I am. I'm just energy, in my opinion. I could be totally wrong. Kristen, yeah, that's another stigma. Like you got to buy a house. If you want to rent, rent. Like I have no desire to own a home. It's just too much work. Some land, cool. And if I put some type of inexpensive structure on that, cool. But you know, this idea of like paying 400, 500, $600,000 for a house, like it doesn't appeal to me. Now, if you're somebody who's always wants to own a home, cool. I get that. But like, once again, at times like this where the housing market is really high, you know what I mean? Like it just looks like there might be some kind of economic issues on the horizon. I sometimes just don't think it makes sense for a lot of us. Yeah, me, I just don't ever like I like being able to just go where I want to go. If I got some land, I can leave it for 2 years. It's fine. I got a little cheap structure on it. So what if I'm gone for 2 years and I come back and it's in disarray? So what? I just spent $1,000 to fix it back up. You know, I just like being free. Like I'd much rather if I'm renting, I can rent somewhere new, different part of town, anytime I want. I rent a house here for 5 years. The neighborhood starts to go down. I could go somewhere else. You know, I can move to another city. So that's just me. But I'm sure some people are very, you know, some people see it as a good investment, which a lot of times it is. Some people just like being in one place. They like the idea of owning something, you know. But this ideal that like everybody, you're a loser if you rent, I think is stupid. Aisha, I love sushi. I might go to sushi place this weekend. Call one of my friends up. Things I gotta check the old bank accounts. Hey, EB23, keep going, man. Turn that 2 into 20. Keep going, keep going. Hey, Mr. Thomas, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, I appreciate that love. Thank you. Good evening, Tim. Send some suggestions on spots to go to New Orleans on your IG. Not sure if you saw and got a chance to see them. Have fun in the Big Easy. Um, yeah, I think I did maybe see that, but like I knew I wasn't really gonna go nowhere. And yeah, like I was there a couple days. I'm back home now. Um, and I knew I was gonna spend most of my time in the hostel. So I appreciate the suggestions. And I appreciate the love, Super Chat Squad. But I knew I wasn't really gonna be doing much exploring there. I was like, yeah, this is just a trip to say I've been here. Just, it wasn't my vibe. No shade to the. Did I learn that I like sushi while I wasn't home? No, I've known I didn't like sushi for years. First time I ate sushi, I was working for a friend of mine. He was one of those people that like had this big house and like all these businesses, but nobody really knew what he did. But he would like, I would work for him, and I would just like come over and like work around the house, and like he'd be like, "Let's go to the store. Tim, you drive. Hey, we're going out for sushi. Everybody go out for sushi." Like we go on these big dinners, and like he like basically made me eat sushi because he was a real big intimidating dude. He's like, "We're going out for sushi, Tim, and you're eating." And I'm like, "I don't really eat sushi." He's like, "You eating sushi today?" Like, he's one of them dudes. For a while there, he had like a carpentry business, and I helped him. But for most of the time, like I was just like his personal assistant, do boy, and I never really knew what he did. He's always moving, had some scheme going. Anyway, but he made me eat sushi, and I'm glad he did. Um, Pretty cool guy. Alvin, I don't know when I'll be back in LA. LA is another city that like just isn't my scene. Up Z, if you're feeling stuck, not sure what to do with your life, great question. I'm a big believer in spending time and like being serious with it, maybe even getting out a piece of paper, writing down ideals of what you think you might want to do with your life, what appeals to you, what's fun to you. Dream with the lid off. Like if you could be anything in life, what would it be? We all got, and then like write that stuff down and then start going towards. Pick one and start going towards it. I'm not really sure what I want to do, but like welder sounds fun. So let's try being well. Worst case scenario, you've learned something new and then realize that's not it either. Then you just go down the list. But I think a lot of times we don't do anything. And so we're in this perpetual cycle of, I don't know what to do with my life. And we continue just doing stuff we don't really want to be doing. But I think eventually the only way to find out what you want to do with your life is to start doing some other stuff. Because if what you're doing now isn't working, just sitting around and thinking about, or asking yourself or complaining about like not knowing is never gonna like switch it up. So you have to think about it and then like start doing some stuff. My opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, give me 2 seconds. I will be. We have returned. Hey, tell the truth. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Sweetie, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you want to buy one day, but where? I mean, that's the $1 million question. I keep telling people Montana though. Montana haven't had any crazy weather really. Well, it did flood in Yellowstone. We'll just say it flooded in the Wyoming part. But take Montana's a cool state, man. People don't, especially black folk, they don't want to listen. I ain't going to. I'm telling you, Montana's a cool state. I think Wyoming's one that's still hasn't got as much growth as it's gonna get. Yeah, Delilah, I'm back now. We up as soon as I got back home. Well, yesterday, last night I was wore out from like all day traveling, but this morning I'm up, still sweating though. Okay, hey John B, yeah, yeah, glad to make it back safe, and it's an experience. That's why I look at it. Every place isn't gonna be off the chain fun. So some places you just gotta learn. The dating scene in Montana, I mean, I imagine it's kind of like everywhere. I met some. I will say in Montana, a big part of it was me being very picky and like being afraid of commitment. Like I met some good women in Montana. I met some good women in Montana, and like yeah, yeah, yeah. I would definitely wouldn't be like now if I was I'll be honest. When I got on Twitter, I didn't do as well as I would do Tinder. Excuse me, Twitter. When I got on Tinder or other dating apps, I didn't do as well as I did in other places. And in all honesty, I think that's because they're not as comfortable or familiar with like interracial dating as other places. That doesn't mean they're racist or anything like that. It's just like you have to factor that in. Some places you go and all you see is it's interracial couples everywhere. It's nothing. Some places it's not that prevalent. So sometimes for some people, understandably, it's like, do I want to deal with that? He cute, but I don't want to deal with that. But I still met, quite a few women who didn't care. You know what I mean? Um, and yeah, it was more me just being scared of commitment. Yeah. They do have long snow-filled winters in Montana, yes, but the summers are amazing when there's no wildfires. But the wildfires are everywhere now. But yeah, the winters are long, but the summers are beautiful. And like honestly, once you get used to it, it's not that bad. Yeah, they're selling off all the cattle in Texas because of the drought. Ooh, I didn't know that. Marcus, I went to New York City when I was like 5, so I haven't gone back. So I really can't comment on it. I do want to go just to see, and I want to see I'll hear all the rappers talk about all these boroughs. I want to go see it. So I go like BX or B next. I want to go to Queens. Shout out to Queens Flip. Covers on Studio. How you doing, Alvin? I thought about doing Lyft or Uber for like a half second. I'm way too introverted though to drive people around. Yeah, I'm way too introverted. Nitra, yeah, that's totally a dating scene in Montana. Why wouldn't it be? Yeah, it's crazy. The one bear I saw in Montana, actually, I saw some bears in Glacier National Park, but the one bear I saw in Montana outside the national park was in the cemetery, and it was literally like less than a week before I left back in October when I left for good. Yeah, me and my friend Abby were just hanging out. We were supposed to try to shoot a video, couldn't get it to work. We're gonna do a video about seasonal work, and we were by this park, and there's a cemetery by the park, and she was like, "Hey, there's some cool, headstones from some like really old families in the cemetery." And I was like, "Cool," because like this was one of the last times we were gonna see each other, so we really was like trying to like hang out more because that's the homie, that's my sister. So I'm like, "Bet, let's." We already got coffee or whatever. I'm like, "Bet, let's walk around the cemetery." So we're walking and just about to get to the cool stuff, and some guy in a pickup truck like pulls up and slows down. And I was low key like, "What's this dude want?" And he's like, "Hey, just letting you know, there's like a baby bear roaming around back there." And I'm like, "What?" I mean, it's just like some stuff people say to you, you can't even like comprehend it in the moment. I was like, "What did he say?" I was like, "He said there's a bear back there." She's like, "What?" And I'm like, "We're not gonna see no bear." So we kept walking a little bit, and she was a little hesitant. She's like, "Tim, I ain't trying to deal with no bear today." And I'm like, "Ain't gonna be no bear." And then I look up, and there's the bear running across the cemetery. I'm like, "What the?" It honestly was like a very like spiritual moment to be in a cemetery. One of the people whose friendship means the most to me in my life, and see a bear. Like, what are the odds you're ever going to see a bear in a cemetery? Hmm? Who ever sees a bear in a cemetery? So like it was like a weird moment to me, like a special weird moment. Um, it was kind of like the universe was like, so one of the last times, I mean, I've seen her since then, because I go back to Montana, but it was like one of the last times you're gonna hang out with Abby, while you're living here, something's gonna happen that you're never gonna forget. I thought that was cool. So yeah, that was the only bear I saw outside the national park. Angela going to Montana? See, she knows. Ask Angela what that dating scene's like when she get back. Where is Montana? In the U.S. Up near Canada. Greatest ever. Happy people bug you? You gotta ask yourself why. You know. Shout out to you. Hopefully that changes. What's up, Derek? It wasn't a cemetery date in my case, but that's a good idea for yeah. Aisha, you watch Ava too? I'm telling you, Ava's making moves, man. Ava's making moves, man. Ava Carr, I'm telling you. Is she in here? Oh, I thought maybe she was in there. I missed her. Yeah, I was lurking in her stream earlier. When do you have bear prints all along the porch one day? Yeah, them bears will get in the trash. Thanks, Derek. Yeah, man, blessed, blessed. Yeah, Kiki from the upgrade is also making great videos. Yeah, Kiki is she just bought two cars to like rent out, I guess on like Turo or something. When I saw that, I'm like, wow. She bought two brand new cars to rent out. Kiki's making moves. Like she's gonna be if she continues with YouTube, she's gonna be big, but like she's gonna be way bigger than that in general. Like that young lady's making moves. Like, yeah, yeah. She's yeah. Like I'm like two brand new car. Who does that? Two brand new cars on the same day. I was like, wow. Like I hope she does a video on that soon because I need the deets. Yeah. I'm like, wow. I see you, KK. Yeah, man. I tell you, I be finding the good people on the YouTubes. I can spot the talent. I can spot people who got it. There is like I think there is a it factor in everything in life. No matter what you do for a living, no matter what your hobbies are, and especially in areas where like you are the main product, I guess there's an it factor, and like Kiki has it. She has the yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Delilah, yes, I definitely think my friendships with women and the fact that I grew up like I mean my dad was around. My dad was around my whole life, but I spent most of my time with my sisters and my mom because he was at work. You know, I do think that keeps me from having like misogynistic thinking. A lot of I and my dad was a very open minded, like logical, reasoning, good person. So he never instilled any of this like women are this, women are that in me that a lot of young men get instilled in them. I'm the man, you gonna listen to, all that type stuff. Like, nah. So like I just never had any of that come my way. So it just like we're all equal. Like there's no I mean, I just don't I know a lot of men to this day who feel like they're better than another human being because they're a male. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, you know what I mean? I would much prefer be around women than dudes in most situations. And that's probably because I grew up around women like that. But yeah, I just never, a lot of these ideals, like, well, that's why when I watch all this manosphere stuff is crazy to me. All these men telling you about women who ain't never around women. They might have like had a wife and she left them, or they left her. You know what I mean? Like all these dudes talking about women, and I'm like, you don't be around no women. Some of them are around women, but just like one night stands and stuff. I'm like, how many of y'all are really around women? I'll listen to you tell me about women if you always around women. But you hang around a bunch of other dudes talking, you know what I mean? Dissing women all day. You supposed to tell me about one? Stop. Like, I don't listen to all that stuff. Eric, I think retiring at 45 is possible if you have enough passive income streams that you can pay your bills. And I've always said for me, retirement means not having to work for anyone else. So retirement doesn't mean like I don't work, but retirement for me means working for myself. Yeah. Yeah, Delilah. I don't, you know what I mean? I try to never think I'm better than anyone else or look down on anyone because of anything. We definitely not gonna do it because of gender. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like that's what I think about. Like when I got a mom and two wonderful sisters, a wonderful mom, wonderful sisters, and some of the best female friends in the world. So like when you start downing women, I think about them. When you say stuff about women, I'm like, you say my mom is like that? You say my sisters are like stop. You're not getting no, no, no. But I mean, it's the same when you got some women who are like men are this, men are that, men same thing. They don't be around no men. They just be around a bunch of better women talking trash about men. I'm not giving them that either. You're not gonna look down on me just because I happen to have a certain type of genitalias. You know what I mean? I just don't. We just need to all like I think learn to accept each other. Like instead of trying to talking down on each other. Yeah, it's just the stereotypes. Like stop. I'm saying if I don't like, and we all slip up and do it from time to time. But I really don't like when people, how so and so are. I'm like, some of them are like that, but all of them aren't. Well, so and so, no group of people is like all the same. I think Kiki's Instagram handle is the upgrade underscore Kiki. Hold on, let me find it. Will that take away my? Let's see. Ooh, I got it right. That boy good. That boy good. See, I rep my people. The people. I'll put it in the chat here. I'm gonna tell it too. I'll put your Instagram in my chat. You owe me. I just wanted to get it to a place in life where like we judge people, not even judge, but we look at people on like an individual basis. Yeah, greatest ever. If there's any doubt, don't. That's my thing. I don't trust nobody to say they on birth control. Sorry, I'm not putting my future in your hands like that. If you know what I mean? Nah. Mm-mm. Tell me go through your drawers, you go through your medicine chest and look for the birth control. And I still wear a condom. Anyway, moving on. But my point is, if you don't want to have kids, you got to do everything in your power to make sure you don't have kids, not listen to someone else say they did something. Nope. Nope. Because you can't say that down at the paternity test place. You can't say that down at the courthouse. She told me she was on birth control. Well, either she lied or it wasn't working that night. Jonathan, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We're blessed. Trust, yep, trust but verify. Nah, man, I'm yeah, you gotta look out for yourself. Kids are a big deal. There's some stuff that you can kind of slack on, but do messing around having a kid, that's for life. Sometimes I wish it was harder to have a kid. I wish you had to like sleep with somebody like 8 times and then maybe you could have a kid. You know what I mean? Like that just is a little too easy. Sex with somebody one time, someone you never met before, and have a kid with them. You know how crazy it has to be to get that phone call. She's like, "Hey, is this Charles from last Wednesday?" She's like, "Who this?" You probably don't remember me, but that's crazy, bro. There needs to be you have to sleep with somebody 8 times for you to get them pregnant. That'd be my if I was in charge, that's what it would be. Yeah, Delilah, that's a good point. Like we realize that like boxing a race of people is wrong. Most of us realize that. You know, you never be like, oh, all this people, but like we do it with gender. We'll do it with gender, and like that bothers me. Yeah, as someone who's gotten a couple of them phone calls. Now it was from women I knew, but them ain't never good phone calls, and it never turned out to be my kid. You know, one of them she was just straight up lying. She went and got fake pregnancy the results and everything, and then she just stopped talking about it like 2 months later. But you never want to get them phone calls. I got something to tell you. Uh-oh. You don't want to get them phone calls. Yeah, I remember Women Are From Mars, Men Are From Venus. She was lying because, you know, in her defense, she changed as a person later on. Um, and honestly, later in our friendship, it was me who was treating her bad. But she always kind of had like a thing for me, and like I think that was her way of kind of trying to rope me in. In her defense, again, she was doing some heavy drugs at the time. But yeah, you know, it was which I mean, I wasn't even that mad, you know. I was actually kind of relieved. But honestly, after a couple months had gone by, I'd kind of like embraced the idea. Like I wasn't totally stoked about having a kid with her, but I was like, all right, you know, we gonna do what we gonna do, you know. She always had a bunch of kids around the house anyway. She watched all her nieces and nephews and all them. So I'm like, all right, you know. I was like, maybe this will tighten her up. Maybe that'll get off the drugs, be good for her. So yeah, I wasn't even that mad with her. Like, you know, I played mad for a while, but we started hanging out again. But like I said, later in our friendship, it was me who was treating her wrong. So yeah, and the reason I get a little quiet is because she's dead now. So she overdosed. So whenever I think on her, it's like low key. Now that I know how it all played out, maybe it would have been a good thing if she was pregnant. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's one of those things that I don't know. The story ended sadly and abruptly, and I wish it hadn't ended that way. But it's the nature of the thing, you know. It'll, and she never got to see me sober, which is something that bothers me because it was my drinking that made me treat her badly, and like I wish she got to see me sober. But honestly, that thought plays a part in me staying sober. You know, she didn't get to die sober, so I hope I get to. Anyway, Ricky says shave the beard, baby faces in. I might trim it up a little bit. Yeah, Wendy, I think our energies will pass in another life. Totally. You know, yeah. It's one of those situations where I see where like people like, man, that person died, and there was more that I wanted to say, or you know what I mean? Like that's the. I mean, sad she died. Like no matter what. um, and in that manner because she had gotten clean and then she kind of got back with some wrong people. They got her using again. um, and I'm just like, man, I wish I could have been the man I am today and shown her, like, you know what I mean, like, hey. And I wish I could have apologized. Like, man, I used to treat her like crap. Like when I was drunk, and because I knew she cared about me for like when she was in prison, she was constantly telling people like, "Hey, tell Tim I said what's up. Tell Tim to write me. Tell Tim to call me." I ain't telling this girl. When she got out, I was, I'd call her on the phone, tell her I loved her, all this stuff. She'd come over, we have sex. I'd leave, like you know what I mean. Like I was that dude. I would literally just like leave her somewhere. She'd have to get a ride home. I don't care. Like I was that dude. And I wish I could apologize for that. Anyway, moving on. Shakita, what's up? Yeah, retired 2019. I would love to spend. I may not do a month in Myrtle, but if I could get a couple weeks in Myrtle Beach this year, yeah, because the Airbnbs are cheap. Isaiah, what's going on, my boy? It's going good, man. It's going good. Checking it from Cali at your new job. Nice, nice, nice. Where you at now? I'm gonna have to check out your Instagram when you post about your new job. Yeah, Wendy. Sometimes being sorry to hear about your friend. But yeah, yeah. Sometimes it happens before you're ready. Yeah. I am not an addict. Philosophy of hustle the dawn. I'm one of those people that I honestly feel like I'll never say I was an alcoholic. I'll say I struggle with addiction, but I'm not going to say I'm an addict now. Like it's been 4 years. My roommate didn't die, gold. Ricky, I say go to Mexico, man. The one time I was in Mexico, I had a blast, man. I felt safer in Mexico than I felt in New Orleans. I felt safer in Puerto Vallarta than I felt in New Orleans. That's why, like, when people like, "Oh, Mexico's so dangerous," blah blah blah. I'm like, have you been to some of the cities here? There was no shady characters roaming the streets where I was at in Mexico. Like, and there was plenty of cops and military to cut down on the shadiness if it had popped up. You know what I mean? I say that all the time. All the places I've been, maybe not the Philippines, but definitely Mexico and like in Thailand, I felt way safer there than I felt lots of places in America. Abdu, I've never worked on a cruise ship, but I got friends who have, and they loved it. Like, they loved it. Andres, yeah, man, Montana. Hey, one thing I like about Montana though, they ain't got some of the taxes Colorado's got. It is the prices as far as like housing and stuff like that, definitely going up in Montana though. Yeah, yeah, because more people, like a lot of rich people are moving there. A lot of rich people are moving there, which I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Angela, I don't know if my friend Jessica's still in the chat, but she's told me some stories about Puerto Rico. She had an interesting time there. When I went to the Philippines, Delilah, I went to Manila, and I mean, nothing bad went down, but it definitely was, interesting. Sky Tombo, has my perspective on life regarding working changed? I don't know. My work has changed, but I don't know if my perspective on it has changed. I don't think so. I think overall, find some work you love. I think is the goal. What they say: if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. So, like, find some work you love or create that work for yourself. I think that's always been my perspective. I think overall, Yeah, the perspective is the same, you know. Maybe little tweaks here and there as I learn more, as I grow, as I experience more. But I think, yeah, that's always kind of been the goal. Abdu, when I was there, when I was in the Philippines, I really wasn't looking to date. I definitely think if you go over there with American money, it would be easier to find a mate than it might be in America. Yeah, totally. But you have to realize that it's because of the money. I'm not saying you can't find true love in the Philippines, but I'm just saying like a lot of the people who talk about, oh, I can go to Philippines or some other country in Southeast Asia and get these beautiful women. You got to realize it's because of the money. So factor that in. Not saying it can't be an amazing relationship. Um, it's just like dudes who like do mail order brides or internet brides over here. You do realize she's coming for the money. So like I definitely think it could raise your, you know what I mean? You might be a six over here, but over there you might be a eight because you have money. And so you might have the opportunity to like interact with women who on that same level wouldn't interact with you in the States, and you might find true love, you know. But I think you got to just be honest and realize a lot of it's the money. And if you it's not going to always work out. Just like over here, it doesn't always work out. But I will say that, yeah, I think it does make you, a bigger catch when you go over to certain places with American money. Actually, Miguel, there's only a few states in Mexico that are no-go zones. It's a huge country. And it's like not our fault we don't know this because no one talks about it. Because they don't really want you going out of Mexico. But like it's a huge country with like it's just like United States has some no-go zones. But like there's so many other places you can. Hey, Mr. River, finally left teaching. Nice, 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 nice. Glad you got energy at the new job. That's awesome. I am well. Hope you are too. Aisha, I think there's a high turnover of jobs because people ain't putting up with it, man. The people just not taking it. Great resignation. People 2020 opened a lot of people's eyes. Hey, Isaiah, sometimes things don't work out, you know, but there's always somewhere else to go. So cool, cool. Yeah, and sometimes the smaller places are better. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes the corporate places are a little interesting. So yeah, that's awesome. Hey, Delilah, hey, hey, do what you got to do. First date after 3.5 years, do what you got to do. He cute too. Do what you got to do, sis. Ain't nobody mad at you. Got to take your little shotty shot. Ain't nobody mad at you. You know, do what you got to do. If he cute, he cute. That's me. If they cute, they cute. Do what you got to do. Abdu, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad said salute to you, Tim. Big props for answering all questions thoughtfully and never shying away from the difficult or controversial questions. Hey, I think if more of us was honest, especially with the difficult and controversial questions, the world would be a better place. So I try to, unless it's something that I know like YouTube doesn't want me to talk about, or something like political, like let's talk about it, let's answer it. You know, even if it's something that doesn't paint me in the best light, like the only way like something good is going to come from that situation is if I talk about it to other people. So yeah, and I appreciate the love. Super Chat Squad, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Ricky says addiction is a thing because we're chasing dopamine and happiness. Um, yeah, but like I get it. I'm not mad at anybody for chasing dopamine and happiness. Like it's kind of human. You know what I mean? I understand addiction. I just try to talk about getting sober, but I never demonize addiction. You know what I mean? Like I understand it. I don't demonize people for being addicts. Um, I get it. It's fun. but it also ruins your life. That's why you can't do it. Like if you could be an addict and there was no side effects, I'd be drunk right now, of course. But like it's the side effects. But like I get it. Tom quit the public service job after having that carrot dangle. Nice. Oh, Ricky, I actually had a regular coffee today for the first time in like 2 weeks. Today I was at the laundromat. I was like, I think it was because I was so wore out after yesterday traveling and everything. I was like, man, I'm getting a regular coffee today. So I hadn't had a regular coffee in like 2 weeks. Very proud of myself. But today I had one. But once I drank it, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this again. Good luck with the new job, Tom. Yeah, maybe launching pad staying on the outskirts would have been better, but like all the hotels was downtown. So sometimes you just pick a place and either works out or it doesn't. Like I said, New Orleans might be a great city in certain areas, and some people might go and love it. But for me, it just maybe it was where I stayed, but yeah, it just wasn't the vibe. My trip link it was a trip. Hey, Jake Lee, thank you, thank you, thank you. Said, get yourself a Starbucks, brother. Yeah, I might give me a decaf Americano. I sound very bougie. 5 years ago, I did not know what a venti decaf Americano was. I would have thought that was a rock band. Okay, thank you, Jake. Super Chat Squad. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love, man. I'll probably give me a decaf from Starbucks tomorrow. Carlos, I've never been to Miami. Yeah, Miami never really been on my list of places to go. Yeah, I feel like Miami would be somewhere I'd go if I was like had a travel partner or dating somebody. She'd be like, let's go to South Beach. I'm not like, all right. But I don't think I'd go by myself. Like tell you, Myrtle Beach is my beach now. That's where I'd be at. I'm a winter in Myrtle Beach. I probably only go for like I don't think I'll stay for a month this time. Then again, I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. But I know when the snow hits here, I'm gonna be like, man, yeah, yeah. When the snow hits here, I might be like, yeah, I'm going on to Myrtle for a month. Screw it. Yeah, oh, Isaiah, I love my wings. I love my wings. I was eating fried chicken wings every day in New Orleans, straight from the Chinese spot. Tom, I actually watch a lot of stuff about Australia. Um, like stuff about the economy over there, and it is very similar to like America in some aspects. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When our housing market screwed up, their housing market screwed up too. I feel like America and Australia are closer than America and Britain or the UK. Um, Oddly enough, maybe because they're both colonies or were. Larry, you acting out there in LA? I see you playing a dead man in a casket. I see you out there in Hollywoods. Je, New Orleans was interesting. It was an adventure. It was an adventure. Don't think I'll be going back anytime soon, but never say never. Rare. I've been known to eat a taco or a meatball. Yeah, I don't discriminate. Yeah, American Australia pretty similar from what I've seen. Yeah, Carol, I've been thinking. I don't know if I want to go in December. I would ideally want to go in December, but it's gonna be Christmas, so a lot of stores will be like I have to factor in like because I'm not going to drive, so like a lot of the stores and stuff will be closed down on some of the holidays. Like Christmas. And, ugh. I guess there's only one holiday, but I'm like I kind of want to go over a month where there's no holidays, so maybe like January. Maybe like January. If I had a choice to date Lil Kim, Cardi B, or Rihanna, which one would be your choice and why? Of those three, I'm gonna say Cardi B. Um, yeah, like I'm a huge Cardi B fan. Like I was on Cardi B before everybody else. I seen her like as just like she was just a video girl in a video, and I was like, dang, that girl is hot. Like, you know what I mean? She was just in the video. Now she was the main video girl in the video, but I was like, dang, that girl's hot. And it helped. It didn't help that like she had her hair in like those cornrows braids or whatever that I love. I was like, man, that girl's hot. And it said who she was. So I like Googled her. And like that was right when she was, she was big on Instagram, but she definitely wasn't a household name. So like I just tapped in anything Cardi B I could get my hands on. And then when she started rapping, I was like, love the song, but it'll never take off. And then because she did that, what was it? That Weave song that was kind of a spoof. And I was like, oh, that's funny. And then she was like, I really want to be a rapper. And I was like, never happened. And then she really started rapping. Like I was wrong. I knew she was gonna be a star, but I didn't know it was gonna be rap. I thought she might get in movies or something, but like I knew she was a star. Um, but yeah, I was on Cardi B. Yeah, before everybody else. I'll tell you, I see I'm no talent, man. I don't talent. I'm trying to think of an upcoming artist that's gonna be big that I'm tapped into. I think Kim the Man's gonna be bigger, but I don't know if she'll be huge, huge. But Kim the Man, she's gonna be good. Yeah, man, I love me some Cardi B. Link, if I could, I'd give it all the holidays. Definitely Christmas. Definitely Halloween. I can't stand Halloween. Um, I give it all holidays. They don't make no sense. I don't like holidays. Now, part of that is I grew up not celebrating them, so they don't make sense to me. But like, it just they close the stores down. If they left the stores open, I wouldn't care. Yeah, retired 2019. You can get a Myrtle Beach condo for a little over $1,000. I think mine was 1,300 in last January. Was it 1,300? That's on the beachfront condo. $1,300. That's crazy. That's and like nobody's there. So like that. That's what's cool about it. Like you can get a beachfront condo. Nobody's there for like under $1,500 a month. That same condo is like 3 grand or more the rest of the year. Like it's double or triple. Like it's crazy. Like weather's good. Nobody's at the resorts. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to go back. Trying to go back. Yeah, for the entire month, Carol. That was with all the taxes and everything. I'm pretty sure. Like, yeah, it was 1,300 a month. Actually, I think there was a deposit, but it was a refundable deposit. But yeah, it was 1,300 a month for the whole month. That's why I went last year because my friend Jessica, who was in here earlier, she told me about it, and I'm like, nah. And I looked it up, I'm like, dang. Like, if you know, for example, right now in the ski resorts here in Colorado, same deal. Same deal. The ski resorts right now are like super cheap. Maybe not as cheap, but like you can rent you can Airbnb a decent condo for $100 a night up in Winter Park and places like that right now. That same condo will be $1,000 a night or something crazy come wintertime. Like if you know the off seasons, you can move around. Like I'm probably gonna go one weekend. I don't want to drive up there, so I gotta wait until I find somebody to go. But I'm probably gonna go spend a weekend up in Winter Park, a couple $100 to be in the mountains, like at a ski resort. Like if you know the game, you can move around. Isaiah, thank you, my boy Isaiah. Appreciate that, man. So wings dinner on me. Haha. Hope all is well, and thank you for being you and bringing the wisdom. I still brag about you. Big dog. My dad, a fan of yours, and I talked about you yesterday. Hey, shout out to Isaiah's dad, man. Shout out to Isaiah's dad, man. And shout out to you, Isaiah. That's all love, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm hoping we get a chance to get up, man. Sometime we got to make a point. If not this year, like next year, we got to link, man, and sit down and have a meal or some coffee or something, man. Because I definitely want to, pick your brain again and spend some time with you. So thank you. Super Chat Squad in the building. Isaiah, good friend of mine. We know each other in real life. If you couldn't tell. Super Chat Squad. Kid Wilson, I think we all let little things get in our head and aggravate us. The thing is to not let it stay in your head long term. So I think it's just like natural that sometimes something will get in your head and it's bothering you. I'm trying to learn to like not let it stay there long term. Think it through, dismiss it, say stuff like, I choose not to think about that. I'm not going to let that aggravate me. Whereas before, I would just let it rattle around my head. But now I'm just, I'll try not to let it stay there. Tony, you've been riding the Greyhound? Nice. Nice. Carol, you can't find one for that price? I know they have them. I know they have them. And sometimes, what month is it? It's August. Yeah, they should have them. Now you know the tricks with Airbnbs. Like sometimes you gotta scroll all the way in, zoom all the way in, move around. Like they ain't always gonna show you the cheapest ones. Ricky, I think there always will be greedy people who prey on other people. You know, all throughout human history. I think that's just human nature for a certain amount of people. A certain portion of the population is gonna prey on other people. You know. For the love of travel, says Tim, what philosophical quote has been the most life changing for you? I guess it's a philosophical quote. I think it's Helen Keller, and it's like life should be a daring adventure or nothing at all. Like that's a quote that when I'm getting nervous to do something, I think about. Like, bro, like if life's not a daring adventure, what are you doing? Like, why are you here? So that's a quote that I take with me. Yeah, Angela, $100 cleaning fee. $100 cleaning fee is typical. Yeah, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that and more before. Yeah. Oh, you're looking at September? Oh, you may have to go no October, November, Carol. Yeah. Um, September there might still be people coming. October, November, December, you may have to go a little further. It is what it is. Yeah, if you're in college and getting depressed, you feel like it isn't the route for you. Maybe you have to maybe you have to move out. You know what I mean? Like if staying with your dad means you got to stay in college, well, I mean, like, if you really can't take it, maybe start looking for places to leave or, you know what I mean? Can you soak it up until you're ready to leave or, you know? This dude sent you a rap song from Bumble, Delilah. Okay. Lao Tzu thinking thoughts on Bitcoin. I'm a big believer that Bitcoin's gonna rebound. Here's my thing on Bitcoin and crypto in general. Right now, I just see cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, as a vehicle to make money because of the volatility. I haven't checked the price lately, but I think Bitcoin's going to rebound in the future to the levels it's been at before. So like when cryptos are down, you buy. When they go back up, you sell. I'm definitely not a long-term crypto bug. I think there will be a place in the future for some of the cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. I think when NFTs become mainstream, crypto will become a lot more mainstream. But I'm definitely not like a crypto nerd. I just see it as a vehicle to make money. So I think now's a good time to buy and sell it in the future. No, I never go on a dopamine detox, Tony. No. Oh yeah, Link. Everybody starts out with 0 subs. I don't really like. I wasn't really paying attention on this channel to a lot of things. I will say I think there was a lot of growth over like the last year or so. In the last 12 months or so, I think there was a lot of growth. And a lot of that I attribute to I did do some things like trying to make my thumbnails better, things of that nature. But I just had a couple videos do very well. Um, if we're being honest. And I think the fact that I started live streaming more and my watch time started going up drastically, I think the algorithm picked up on that and started promoting my content a little more. But I just had like some videos that did very well. Which I always tell people, like, you get on YouTube, all it takes is 1 or 2 videos to hit and your numbers are up. A book that changed my life. The Tao Te Ching. I could actually put the Bible on a list too. Like the Bible shaped a lot of who I am. The Tao Te Ching is one that definitely was life changing. Rice and beans, that's a good idea. Yeah. If you can buy a cheap $1,000 piece of land, which if you find some of those, call me because I'm gonna buy all the land around it. But yeah, buy some cheap land, some camping supplies, and stay there between seasonal jobs. I mean, honestly, like I'm a big believer, or I all for like traveling between seasonal jobs. You know, is it really worth to me? Like, is it worth like flying back to like your land and putting up camp for a month and a half? Why not just travel around? I have been on YouTube on this channel or my other ones since like 2011. Doing this a long time. Oh, never stay on Canal Street. Memoir of Life. I know now. I know now. I know now. Yeah, I was like, well, it's right by Bourbon Street. I've heard of Bourbon Street. It's got to be cool. I know now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Benzie. YouTube was a lot different when I got on. So there was no concept of being a YouTuber back then, or even really like making money. Real money. Like it was crazy. So like, blessed that I got on when I did, and was good at it and enjoyed it. So that can turn into what has turned into for me now. Because honestly, it wasn't like I saw it. You know what I mean? Like it just happened for me. I mean, I worked at it. We've been putting in the pain for 10 plus years, but it's been fun the whole time. Most of the time, 90% of the time, it's been fun. So, yeah, I feel blessed. Yeah, I agree, Delilah. I wouldn't mind. A partner with a remote job, I think would be good for me. Yeah, because I feel like if I met someone um, who wasn't nomadic or a traveler, had the ability to, I'd always be like leaving and going places, and she'd be in the same place. It kind of would be an issue. Yeah, Angela, I saw some street musicians. Yeah, but that ain't really my deal. I actually gave some of them some money. I gave a couple street musicians some money. I try to share the love. Lawrence, we off that topic. Lawrence still talking about meeting somebody. We off that topic. Kim D, how's it going? Give me 2 seconds, folks. I'll be right back. There we go. Okay, we back. Ah, we back. Someone says shave the beard. I don't know. I need to cut my hair. I might go to an actual barber one of these days. I think I want to get it all lined up, all cut down. I want to get like a skint bald head. Hey, Benzie, I'm glad the videos can be inspirational, so you can get back to hustling. Yes, financial freedom, man. We're all about freedom on this channel, this community, and in our current society, like financial freedom is a big one. So like I'm a big believer in like side hustling, man. Getting some money on your own terms is a game changer. It's a game changer. Wendy says, "Don't shave the beard or the mustache." Okay, okay. Yeah, I don't really want to yet. The day will come when I'm like I'm done. But right now, I was at the when I was at the airport, plural, recently. Like people look at you different with the beard. I noticed that. Yeah, here's something that's crazy. Um, I got mad love at the Atlanta airport. I was getting all kinds of looks at the Atlanta airport. Not so many at the New Orleans airport when I was walking around. Not really as much love at Denver, but at the Atlanta airport. And here's something I've noticed about um, people in different places. And when I lived in Atlanta, this was a before, and that's how I know it's a thing there. But I'd just forgotten about it. People in Atlanta, like women in Atlanta who would like check me out, would immediately look down at my shoes and then look at my whole outfit and come back up to my face. I mean, it took them like a half second to do it. But when I lived in Atlanta, when I was a kid, it was like that. When I was a teenager, people always look at your shoes and then they judge you all the way up. And I hadn't seen that in a while. And it was just funny to see it. Like it just kept happening. Like someone look at me and then they'd be like, I'm like, wow. I don't know, it's just crazy. That's why I love traveling. Michael, yeah, I definitely think this is the era of the social media influencer, and I think we're still in the somewhat beginning stages of it. Um, I don't know if I think it's about building community, but I think that can be part of it. I think the really successful influencers build communities and build brands. As much as I hate to say, everyone's talking about building brands, but I think that can be a part of it. But I don't think it has to be a part of it. But I think we're definitely getting away from people we don't know influencing us, and we're starting to want to hear from people we know and trust what brands to buy and other what to. But you know what I mean? Like we've gotten to the point where like we just don't take your word for it. Random celebrity, you know, who's paid by a company to say their car is better. I want to go to the guy or the girl I watch who always talks about cars to tell me about a car. I think that's the era we're in. And that's why I'm a big believer in, I think being an influencer, if you're comfortable on camera, things of that nature, or figuring out a way to do it without showing your face is like the one of the best gigs going. Still, I think it's one of the best businesses to start. Because the potential is like endless. There's no limit to the amount of people you can reach and influence. Nah, it's not oversaturated. Nah. Because like oversaturation, I think comes to say that is like looking at it with a scarcity mindset. Like you can come in any space on YouTube or on TikTok or on Instagram and do better than the best. There's going to be some kid just born or who's just now reaching the age where, his parents give him a phone or her parents give her a phone and they're going to start making content and be bigger than Mr. Beast one day. You know what I mean? There's no competition. It's just you versus the internet. It can't be oversaturated. It can't. That implies that like there's this level on which it gets to a certain level, then there's no. Find a topic nobody's else talking about, or talk about it better than anyone else. Make better content. They have been making movies in Hollywood for 100 years. No one's ever like, oh, the movies are oversaturated. We ain't gonna make no more movies. You can't make money off movies. No, there will always be a demand for good movies, good TV shows. You just got to make a good one. The same is true with content creation. If you make good content, people will watch it. If you make interesting, entertaining content and you do it better than everybody else, or you do it in your fashion, you, you win. Can't be oversaturated, in my opinion. If there's no such thing as the internet, I'd probably be doing the same thing. I'd probably just be like doing seasonal work. Totally. Lee, yes, I only fly Delta. JD, it's hard to remember everybody. See, Garrett did it. Went on Etsy, which people would tell you Etsy's oversaturated. Yeah, just gotta figure out something different. Yeah, Lawrence, go for it. Anybody thinking about doing YouTube, I say go for it. Like, Benzie, we're still working on like the reevaluation. There's me and Allison Travel Snacks was talking about some things today, you know, some life stuff, you know. I was running some ideals past her. So yeah, we still, reevaluate, trying to figure out what we want to do, moves we want to make. Yeah, Angela likes horror movies. I don't like them. Yeah, life is interesting, you know. It's cool that you go along and you think you're on this road and then you realize maybe this ain't the road I want to be on. Let me switch some stuff up. So it's part of life. Katie Rose, yes, I ordered exactly the same thing all 3 nights. I went to the Chinese restaurant. Fried chicken, the fried chicken wings with French fries and a house lo mein. The same thing every time. I'm a simple man. I find something I like, I sticks with it. It don't take much. I'm telling you, I'm simple. It don't take much from. It was a good meal. I get excited to eat the same thing. I got chicken in there now. I had some chicken thighs and some mustard potato salad. Blessed, man. I be eating good. Blessed. Grateful. Did I make it? Oh, no, no, no. I don't cook. Um, EB, the for me, the cravings dissipated over time. So honestly, for me, I feel like there might have been a month or two of like intense cravings, if that long. Then it went away. When I went back to drinking, I didn't have any cravings the 8 months and the year and a half. I just decided I want to drink again. The 8 months, I was like, I want to party. The year and a half, I was just like, I feel like having a drink. There wasn't any cravings. That's how I knew that next time I would be done for good because there weren't any cravings. Like the cravings go away after a month or two. Um, it gets easier, and you think about it less. That's the hard part of it. Is at the beginning you're constantly thinking about it. You're constantly struggling. Sometimes it just seems easier to give in. But like the only way you're ever going to beat it is to get past the cravings point and get to a point where like you don't even think about it. Like it don't even. And I've talked with people that they'll say every now and then a craving. I had an ex girlfriend. She'd like every now and then she'd have a bad day and a craving would pop up, and she'd drive by the bar and she'd have to like really focus to get home. But then it go away. Um, so like every now and then there might be one, but like that thinking about it every single day goes away. Like it feels like it's always going to be there if you've never got to the point where it went away, but it goes away. And then it's just like, you're just like, fine. Like a lot of times for me, like it'd go away. I didn't even think about it because I wasn't thinking about it. And then one day I'm like, oh, wait, like I haven't thought about drinking. And I'm like, oh, snap. That's a cool corner to turn. You know what I mean? So it gets better. Yeah, Miguel, you try stuff new, you realize you don't like it, you spend all your little $30 on a meal, you don't even like it. I just eat the same things over and over again. Richard, you didn't anger me. I can't get to everybody's comment. And honestly, I'll be honest, Richard. Um, People who comment a lot, sometimes I might be more likely to skip just because, like, I know I've answered a ton of your questions over the years. That may not seem fair, but I'll be honest. Like sometimes if someone who's always around, which I appreciate, maybe I won't answer as many of their questions just because like I know like over the years, you know, um, that may not seem fair. And maybe it isn't. But like, when there's a ton of questions, you don't a lot of these decisions I don't make like it's just like subconsciously. I'm like, oh yeah, that's where you go. A little Florida checking in. Fucci, hey, hey, nice. A month and 1 week. Nice, nice. Cravings are gone. Nice. Isaiah, yeah, man. When you get to Southeast Asia, that's the street meats. We're talking about food. Yeah, man. Cheap prices. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're gonna get over there and be like, man, I've been trying to ball. I've been living in the wrong place. It's the vibe's different, more relaxed, cheap food. I gotta get back. I gotta get back to Thailand. My opinion on Atlanta, Juliet, I haven't been there in 20 years probably, so I really don't know. Oh, Richard, I didn't say hello to you already? I'm sorry. If I didn't say hello, I apologize, Richard. I try to say at least say hello. I'm sorry. Jason, I'm not afraid to be around other black people. Like, what are you talking about? My roommate's black. Like, what are we talking about? Guy, I've been lurking. Sorry to hear you in a funk. It happens. Appreciate you saying hello. Praveen checking in. Little Florida. Colorado is home now. Yeah, the Denver area. A lot of new people just came in the same in the same area. Where's my Toyota in the parking lot? We still got the Prius. We here. Hey, get better, Wendy. I didn't know you had the pneumonia. Y'all hear with the? I know it's pneumonia. You have to say that because people will be like, "It's pneumonia." They'll be like, "It's with an N." I call it the pneumonia. I don't know if we're gonna do Detroit next. Nah, Detroit might have to wait till next year. I do need to go to Detroit because I talk so much about it. But yeah, we may have to wait. We have to wait. Wherever I fly to next is going to be somewhere I really want to go because I told you my stomach was not happy. Um, my stomach was not happy with flying this time. So wherever I fly next is gonna actually wherever I go next, I might take the train. Um, but wherever I go next is gonna have to be very special when I fly. Lawrence, Alaska's amazing, man. I tell everybody go to Alaska. I tell everybody go to Alaska, and then I point them to Coolworks that will give you a job in Alaska. Coolworks will point you to a company that will give you a job in Alaska. I try to time. Chronic, yeah, I'm not traveling as much anymore. Um, and this trip is definitely made me appreciate home. Like I just, you know, I've been doing it a while. It's I'm still a nomad. I'm still gonna travel, but I'm enjoying being in Denver. It's cool to sit still sometimes. Benzie, Alaska. If you move to Alaska, and I don't know like how long you have to be there, but they do. Residents do get like a check every year. but I don't know how long you have to be there to qualify or whatever. But yeah, I got a friend who lives there. Yeah, she gets a check every year for like the oil stuff. It's been going down, I heard. But hey, see you later, Rico. But yeah, you do get a check. Praveen, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Super Chat Squad. I appreciate it. Glad to see you made it, man. Glad to see you made it. I appreciate the love. Said hi, Tim. So glad to join your live stream again. Hey, always glad to see you, Praveen. Hope you had a good day up at the Weekmans. You live in Nolens, Keith? Yeah, man. I mean, once again, I'm not trying to poop on New Orleans. It just was you know, it's just my take. And I'll admit, maybe I stayed in the wrong part of town. I don't know, but yeah, it wasn't my vibe. Some people go there and love it. I just I yeah, Delilah. I've been to the lakefront in downtown Chicago. Yeah, I like Chicago. I was in Chicago last year. Chicago's amazing. I'll go back. Um, yeah, I like Chicago. Downtown Chicago is nice, man. People kept telling me, "Be careful, be careful." I mean, you got to keep your head on the swivel. But downtown Chicago is nice. Hey, Link, thank you. Super Chat Squad, Super Chat Train. So the one from the Super Chat Squad, thank you. Cheers and 45 beers to all. Hey, do what you do. I appreciate the love, Link. Thank you. Let me say your whole name, Link 1111. Link one quadruple. Thank you. Super Chat Squad in the building. Super Chat Train. Thank you. Ty says, Tim, I'm 30, single by choice, never been in a relationship, but people I know are constantly talking about women whenever they get a chance to talk to me. I consider your tips and ideas about that. So do you not like them discussing women around you, or like they're discussing women like you need to date or like get married or something? Because yeah, like dudes is gonna talk about women, but yeah, the idea that like people are constantly like telling you need to date or whatever is aggravating. Me, I just don't. If people keep coming to me a certain way, I just stop engaging. You know what I mean? If you don't give any people anything to work with, if people keep talking about women as annoying you, I just wouldn't communicate back. I would say as little as possible and just like I just accept that they're gonna keep doing it and I just won't engage. Hey, why aren't you ever date? Because I don't. Why aren't you married? Because I'm not. Like if you don't give people anything to work with, they'll eventually have to stop bothering you about it. But I think that is one thing. But you can take solace in the fact that the older you get, the more it dissipates. You get in your 40s, people just think like you're weird or you're gay, until they stop bothering you about it eventually. Yeah. Gaia, see, I'll be telling y'all they be paying in Alaska $2,400 a month to house sit in the off season. Ooh, I mean yeah, that's a tough one. I know people who they like the place I worked at. There was somebody who stayed in the wintertime and they just had to keep the property up. And like you have to be a special type of person to do it. Because yeah, it's bad enough to be remote, but remote in Alaska in the wintertime, there's like nobody around. Like nobody around. Like which means you got to plow all the roads and like, you know what I mean, do keep everything. And yeah, what if the pipes do freeze? Then you screwed. Ain't no plumber coming out there. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, that's like remote in Alaska in the wintertime is could be deadly. Like, you know what I mean? Like Alaska's different, bro. Like in the wintertime in certain areas, you know, the roads you get all snowed in, pipes burst and the truck break down. You better have a snowmobile. Like, yeah, remote in Alaska is no joke, man. It's no joke, man. Like, yeah. Praveen, I did not see a lot of damage from Hurricane Katrina. No, because that was damn near 20 years ago. Oh, Angela said I stayed in the wrong part of Tucson too. Possibly. I've never been to Colombia for me. Nah. Little Florida, you said when you think of Friday and Saturday, you think of freedom and fun. I think we're programmed to think like, oh, you can be free on the weekends. Weekends you can be free. You got to be in school or working on the other days. Chronic Anchorage is an interesting town. Like Anchorage is becoming less and less like of an attractive place to live. I mean, I went there from the first time in 2016, and when I went back again, and or by the time I went, because I've been to Alaska like 3 times. So the last time I went, I think was in 2019, and I noticed that it got worse. Like there's a lot of Anchorage, the crimes going up. Um, a lot of people get there, like homeless people in the lower 48 can move around. You might can scrape up $100, get on a bus, go somewhere else. A lot of times the authorities will put you on the bus, ship you to another town. You get stranded in Anchorage and get homeless, you're not gonna scrape up enough money to get on a plane typically. So you just got a lot of people stuck in Anchorage, which leads to more crime in some instances. So Anchorage is you like my friend who lives in Alaska, she would come to Anchorage to pick me up from the airport or from my hotel and immediately leave. She's like, I'm not being here longer than I gotta be here. So yeah, Anchorage is yeah, interesting. I mean, it's still I've spent time there and it's still beautiful and there's nice spots, you can go to. But yeah, Anchorage is interesting. Kashif, what I got planned for the weekend? Tomorrow is WNBA basketball. It's the playoffs. Tomorrow is WNBA basketball. It's the playoffs starting at noon. New York versus Chicago. Let's go. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna watch the WNBA tomorrow. Sunday, I might. I don't know. I don't know. The weekends, I don't like to go to many places. Everybody's off work. I'm not really sure, but I know tomorrow. Yeah, we watching basketball. Yeah, Brittany, a free BG. Brittany Griner. I hope they swap her out for somebody we got there Russia wants soon because yeah, she needs to come home. Like that. That pains me. Like free BG, man. Like that's crazy. Yeah, man. For them, I think they gave her those 9 years just so they could ask for more in return. Like I talked about this before. If they gave her 1 year, they can't ask for a arms dealer who we gave 20 years. So if they give her 9 years, then they can be like, well, she's got 9, he's got 18. We can make that work. You know what I mean? So I think they gave her that time in preparation for whatever swap they're thinking about doing. I think that's why they did it. How do I know when the right city was for me? I go some places, I just get a good vibe. I like it. Some places I go, not the same vibe. So that's why I'm a big believer in traveling to places and experiencing them in places for a couple days, a weekend, a week. See if you like it, you know? Yeah, Angela, like a bargaining chip. Yeah. That's why I keep a lot of people like, oh, 9 years, she's screwed. I'm like, no, I think, come on now. They're playing the game. Yeah. Her wife is taking the exam to become a lawyer. Like I give her props for continuing with her life. Like that's something that puts you under. Like your mate is in another country in prison. Like, bro, like I don't know, man. It bothers me, man. Okay, hold on. Repeating the question doesn't get it answered. Well, I mean, Mike, they had to wait. It seems like they're being slow, but they had to wait for her to go to trial and get sentenced before they could do a prisoner exchange because she wasn't technically a prisoner until she was charged. So she had to go to court. Like they can't release her before she goes to trial. So like up till now, up until what, a couple weeks ago, she hadn't been to trial. So they're not going to release her before trial because she's technically not, a prisoner because she hasn't been sentenced. So like we're not going to exchange someone who might get off for someone we've already charged. So they had to wait for her to go to trial. I think they knew they was going to charge her all along because she even admitted to being guilty. I think typically she might have got like time served or like 6 months or something, slap on the wrist. Um, they gave her extra time, more than they gave her probably the max or close, somewhere high, 9 years to use as a bargaining chip. I honestly, and maybe this is me because I hope this is true, but I honestly feel like they don't care. Like they had to arrest her, yeah, because she had some stuff. Nobody in Russia wants Brittany Griner in jail. They have to make an example, and I think they're like, "Oh, she's high profile enough that we can." She was like just the right profile. I think she's high profile enough that there's going to be a demand to get her back, but it's not like she was like LeBron James, where we might, go to war. You know what I mean? It wasn't somebody so high profile that it's like, nah, this could get crazy. It was like she's just high profile enough that we're going to want her so they can exchange. It's that's what I'm hoping is happening. I mean, because you got to realize, like, they love women's basketball over in Europe, so nobody over there like wants her in jail. Like all the WNBA ladies, a lot of them play over in Europe, so like this whole situation is affecting all that. So I think they want to get this. I hope they want to get it resolved quickly. It's all. I'm just sad she's caught in the middle of the politics, but like I just want to come home. Like that's, bruh. You know what I mean? Like I personally, Link, don't think AI robots will ever replace humans. Now, there are some things that I think, like, if robots get lifelike enough, we've talked about sex robots before, but like, I don't think they'll ever replace humans. Like, why would they? Like, we have enough humans. You know what I mean? We're good on humans. So, like, why would I turn to a robot unless it's for something like a sex robot? Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, why? As a human, would I pick a robot over another human? So, like, I don't think they'll replace us. Like, we'll just start doing different stuff. That's what always happens with technology. Technology comes along, and we just start doing different stuff. If the robots take over all the jobs, we'll just start doing other jobs the robots can't do, or work won't look like the same for us anymore. Delilah, I promised my mom years ago I would never end my life. So if I woke up one day and all the humans were gone, I would have to keep living. Like I decided I'm gonna have to live this thing out to the end. So, whatever that holds. Patrick, I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, we evolve with technology. We've always some new technology, just like the metaverse. People are like, "Oh, it's the worst thing. It's the Antichrist. It's the devil." We'll evolve with the technology. That's what we do. We adapt. That's what humans do. Yeah, Lauren. It's not evolution, but like honestly, actually, no, no, no. I take that back. How can you say it's not? This is another issue we have. We like to look at certain things, and even this one I'm guilty of is like I call other stuff nature, but we're part of nature too, right? So like you can't say AI technology is not part of evolution because it's technology evolving and we humans make the technology. So it is a part of us. It's all the same thing. You know what I mean? It's all there is what there is on this planet. It's all together. A 30-story building is a part of nature, just like a stream, because like it's a 30 everything we build comes from the earth. So it's all a part of earth. It's all nature at the end of the day. Automobiles are just as much in nature as a tree. It's all of the earth. You know what I mean? So like robots are part of nature too. And if you believe in evolution, well, that's part of the species evolving. Or you might call it a different species, but it's all part of the same game. There's not this over here and this over here. Like it's all the same. It's all from the earth. We have never made anything that didn't come from materials that were already here. So like that's why I'm not scared of anything that like we come up with, because like it's all comes from here. And if you're like me and you do believe that there's like a higher power overseeing all this or who put it all in motion, obviously that higher power saw this eventuality. you know I talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, it's God sees everything, but then they're worried about the metaverse. And I'm like, you don't think God could see far enough in the future when he created us, if you believe in creation, to realize that the day would come when we would have the technology we have now? Obviously God ain't worried about it. I'm not worried about it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to we like to give certain things credit, and then when it not give it credit when we get worried about it. It's like, no, like I ain't worried about it. Like, all this stuff was put here, and the ability for us to use our brains to create it and make this stuff, all of this was here. Like, so okay. Hey Fizzle, so tell me what should I do about getting really depressed about living in the capitalist system and having to sell my labor for the rest of my life? When I work, it feels like I'm in prison. My best advice would be to try to find a way to like earn money that doesn't feel like you're, like working for yourself or doing something you enjoy. I think is really the best way to outside of just like living with no money. It's like living on the street and just saying screw all of it. I think if you're going to still play the game on some level, you have to find a way to make money that doesn't depress you. Um, doesn't make you feel like you're in prison. You know, Sadly, we live in a society where most of us are going to have to work, or you can just say screw it and live on the street. That's an option. The man who quit money, Suelo, lived in caves. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to jump off. I definitely need to eat some din. Need to eat a little dinner. Um, the stream, but I was only going to do 2 hours, but the stream was going so good. I was like, let's keep it going. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate all the love. Big shout out to the Super Chat squad. Hey, we really got some good questions. So thank you all for being a part of this. Big shout out to the lurkers, the thumbs uppers, the thumbs downers. Y'all have a great night. I love each and every one of y'all, and we will talk again soon.